everyone, and welcome to this unboxing video for Dreadfleet. So, this game is a two-player game that is easily summarized as pirates versus vampires on water. So, this is, for those of you that have seen my Sisters of Battle unboxing video, this is not the second thing of GW that I've bought in recently. In fact, this is actually the first thing GW I had bought in over a decade. I just didn't think about it because, well, I got it much later after it came out. This has actually been sitting in this room for over a year. There's actually dust on it now that I think about it. Some people may have noticed it up on my shelf there because I just haven't gotten around to it. This is one of those, I bought it for the miniatures. In fact, this game is really notorious for coming out as one of GW's preset things that does not mesh with their other games, but does, because if I'm correct, this is set in the Warhammer Fantasy setting. And there are components in here that make the game worth buying on its own, beyond the game itself. And it's been notorious of just people buy it just for the miniatures or the playmat, which you'll see that at least in a bit. Miniatures, as usual, be in pieces. But let's get around to this. So, it comes with a very nice playmat. I don't even want to say what it is. You'll see. But it's just full of miniatures, most of which are pirate ships and everything, that are really nice for any on-seas adventure game, like role-playing setting, or if you really just want pirate ships. There we go. And yeah, it's a lot. Normally I like to save miniatures for last, but they just heap them on top. So they all have their own unique base. The ships go in these slots here, and they have their own waves and everything to go around with them. But here's pieces of ships, some small ships themselves. That might be a piece of a ship or just a ghost-like thing. Again, it's more pirates versus undead than it is pirates versus vampires, because the vampires are just in charge of all the undead. Then we've got some more. These are probably more counters than ships. I didn't even realize the small ships were things in here. I thought the only miniatures were just the large ships. Some mechanical-ish Kraken. You can see gears with it on the other side. And some sails. I actually put together a ship. I don't know if it was a pirate ship or not, but appropriate era, at least in the real world. And it was a pain, honestly. But it also, rigging is just annoying to do, and I was 12 and barely understood what I was doing. Before I got into the miniature gaming hobby, I was actually already putting together regular models, like the kind you would get in any hobby store. Then we've got a bunch of six-sided pip dice, one of which is red, the rest are white, all black pips. Piece of cardboard in the way, separating the rest. Alright, let's get to that mat. Cause, yeah. This alone, while not worth the MSRP of the game, if you can find the game still in stores, which some stores still have, because I got this years afterwards, and I think my local store still has copies, is almost worth this alone. It is, I think it's felt. It's definitely some nice smooth fabric. It's not neoprene. Okay, so it's not double-sided. It's just that big. It feels really nice, but it is just a sea mat. And as much as some people are like, oh, that's kind of... Trust me, if you've ever played a good D&D game on the high seas, or even just a sea, not even the ocean or the, larger seas, even just, hey, look, we're on a large lake, it makes for a nice adventure. But the whole thing is numbered on the sides, so there's a bit of measurement there. I believe that's in... No, that's not in inches. I don't actually know what the measurement there is. That's definitely not inches. Or... Nope. It's really odd because it goes 5'1" here and 4'6" here. Could be map coordinate kind of thing. But, yeah, that's... Like, I'm not going to unfurl the whole thing because that's literally it. But it is very, very nice. And honestly, I had forgotten that was in there when I bought it. Then we've got a bag of bags. A rule book? It's plastic wrapped and feels more like a bit of cardboard than paper. Not that there really is much difference between the two, other than thickness. Like, I know of plenty of people that have bought this game and never planned to play it. I don't even know if I'm going to plan to play it, but... So, like with a lot of GW rulebooks, there's some very nice art of the in-house painted miniatures. And yeah, this is definitely the rulebook. And like with a lot of GW stuff, the rules are just this. This looks to be all fluff. Definitely begins to be fluff. Goes over the different ships, their captains, the setting, why like things have become the way they are. Oh, there are some... These are actually also some rules. Like, all the special rules for these individual ships are here. How to place an... Okay, so no, not a lot of this was actually fluff. This is almost all rules and scenarios. Because, wow, that's just a lot of scenarios. And literally, then thirsty for more? I imagine it gives you something to do. Like a more customized thing rather than set scenarios. Then we've got 3 packets of cards, 2 smaller sets of cards, or 2 sets of smaller cards, and a set of larger cards. No standard size. Again, please stop with the vacuum sealing, people. I am more likely to ruin a card in the process. These are all labeled as orders. They do have different coloration, like bluish, yellowish. And then these look like summary versions of... Okay, they are 2 different factions from the looks of it. So, the pirates are the yellow ones, the undead are the bluish ones. And I can tell that because here are summary cards of what the different ships do. That's very convenient. I always like summary cards. And then on to different packs of cards that I have no idea what they do. I was trying to see if one was immediately clear as the pirates versus, well, undead. Okay, so honestly I think it's quicker for me to tell from the back. Some wound cards, all with... These are all the same with different explanations of severities of wounds. Flesh wound, serious wound, horrific wound, mortal wound, and they all have status effects. And then these are all damage cards. And my guess is that is, just from a quick look... Yeah, just from a quick look, they're very much like the Mansions of Madness, Damage, and Horror, where this looks to be a random deck, and then you will probably draw one to see what the damage actually was. Like, keel, there's a lot for crew, the hull, which has even more than crew, I think. Apparently a type of speed damage, rigging, for the first mate, fire on the deck, and that one's red. Oops. In fact, a few of them are red, and they're all labeled as special status. I think 3 in that pile. Right, so that already will make the game more interesting than I thought it would, instead of just a compare stats and tick off life, which kind of is most miniature games. especially the free-flowing ones as opposed to ones that are more focused on a board game play around, like more scenario-based, which is majority of what I have. I still love it. Alright, and then these look like more kind of things. Submerged looks like it's just a status. It's double-sided. Either that or all of these double-sided text cards, which... Nope, these are all the same. These are each the same thing. One side is at anchor and set ablaze. So these are just status cards. I think there's only one submarine, so one copy of Submerged is fine. Then there's some auxiliary cards. All with this back. And they look to be all the same, honest. Nope, okay, there's a few others. They're mostly cog, but there's a few others, one of which is even called Dragon. Some Fate cards. In fact, that's everything else. I imagine this is meant to add further random elements. Some of these are also red, but Boarding Ship ready, Assassin Ship ready, Hurricane of Blades, Hellfish Swarm, Grape Shot loaded, Plug It with the Cabin Boy, 'Tis But a Scratch. Some of the red ones being Gale Force Winds, a Ghastly Fog, Blood Sharks. Nothing would surprise me in like, oh look, here's this in the 40k or fantasy setting. But that's literally it. I honestly expected a bit more, but the box is primarily taken up by miniature sprues. Okay, cool. So it's about what I expected. It's been sitting around for a long time because I just never got around to it, and the Sisters of Battle box, recording that, encouraged me to do this. Regardless, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to press that like button. If you think somebody else will enjoy this, feel free to share this video. Either way, it'll help this video get seen more. If you didn't like this video, go ahead and press that dislike button. I won't mind, but please leave a constructive comment as to why. Also, feel free to comment in general, such as if you want to see any of this painted in advance. I don't know if I'm going to get around to any of this anytime soon. Like, there are no plans for it. That's the other reason I never unboxed it till now. I may have actually had this for like 2 years now that I think about it. Not the point. But if people would like to see some of this, please go ahead and comment. Or just assembly, because some of these have a lot of little parts to them. Or if you'd like to hear my thoughts and opinions on the Warhammer setting, I know 40k more, but I'm more than willing to look more into Warhammer. Or the game in general, because it's been years since I've played, but I still have opinions. If you'd like to see more like this, be it more unboxing videos, my board game overviews, my painting videos, or anything else that I might do on this channel, feel free to subscribe. Regardless, thank you for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.